Right. Salika Prabhu, we're waiting on you, please. Oh, okay, we are. Sorry. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Krishna Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Shri Advaita Prabhu, thank you so much for accepting this service. There are a few devotees here at the moment, but we're going to start and devotees will be joining. So, Hare Krishna. We may put the verses on the screen and then you may start speaking. Shri Advaita Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sahadeva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I can
Please
hear
accept my humble.
Jai. All glories to Great, all glories to Shri Prabhupada, all glories to you.
All glory, so glorious to all the wonderful devotees of the Supreme.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Can you hear me? It's audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
You're very
And do you
clear.
normally chant Radha Madhava or?
Yeah, if you want to, you may, but we usually go with Shri Prabhupada Jai Radha Madhava. Shri
Oh,
Prabhupada,
you already chanted that.
yeah, Shri Prabhupada just chanted that.
I
But
see.
there
Okay.
are some devotees who
While we
also.
are,
Yeah, go
yeah, I
ahead.
think while we are waiting, there might be some on the way.
Okay,
I
so,
can just.
all right, yeah, you may do that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can you hear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
It's a little drawing.
Oh, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, good. All right.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Namunati Manatari Namunati Manatari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Madhavasta Sakhi Panchatattva, Shri Shri Prahlad Maharaj, Lakshmi Nrsimha Bhagavan, Ananta Deva Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we plucked the instrument Tampura, all your pleasure. And while we're doing that, I saw some more names popped up on the screen. So we'll welcome all of you. Sahadev Prabhu, Madhuvam Prabhu, Gul Ji, Hare Krishna Africa, Loka Devi, Haribol, Narayani, and Yashoda, Hare Krishna. Greetings from Gainesville, Florida, from Krishna House, Bhakti Academy. So nice to see all of you. Rupanuga, Prabhu. Okay, the room is getting populated. We'll start nevertheless with invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're covering a wonderful section of the third canto, chapter 13, verses 5 to 8, I believe, I was told. And this was Swami speaking. It was up to King Parikshit, a conversation that's between Vidura and Maitreya. As Vidura and it's a story within the story, and it's the dialogue within the dialogue. It's like those Russian babushkas, it's like one thing inside of another thing. It's very nesting. Bhagavatam is very nesting when it comes to conversations and dialogues. So before Vidura started talking to Maitreya, he was talking to Uddhava, and before that he was in a very, it's understatement, improper ways of addressing him. And Vidura, by the way, was the only one who in that assembly, as they tried to disgrace Draupadi, was the only one who objected. Nobody else. So Duryodhana, being who he is, a dirty fighter, he spoke very harsh words, very inappropriate, and Vidura on the spot, he took his crown, he took his sword, everything that resembled him belonging to that family, and left for pilgrimage. On his pilgrimage, he meets Uddhava, and then Uddhava sends him their wonderful conversation, but he ultimately sends him to Maitreya. So Shukadeva Goswami is recalling that conversation between Vidura and Maitreya, and they're discussing something that it's in relation to the dawn of creation. So we're going to be covering that. This is just an intro to that section. Sri Sukha Uvacha Iti Bhruvam. Okay, I need to make it a little bigger. 1 second. There you go. Iti Bhruvam Viduram Vinitam. Iti Bhruvanam Viduram Vinitam. Iti Bhruvanam Viduram Vinitam. Sahasrashishnash Charanopadanam. Sahasrashishnash Charanopadanam. Sahasrashishnash Charanopadanam. Prahrishtaroma Bhagavat Katayam. Prahrishtaroma Bhagavat Katayam. Prahrishtaroma Bhagavat Katayam. Praniyamano Munir Abhyachashta. Praniyamano Munir Abhyachashta. Praniyamano Munir Abhyachashta. Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Bhuvanam Viduram Vinitam Sahasra Shishnash Charano Padanam Prahrishtarama Bhagavat Katayam Praniyamano Munir Abhyachashta. Anybody wants to take a shot?
Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Bhuvanam Viduram Vinitam Sahasra Shishnas Charanopadanam Prahrishta Roma Bhagavat Katayam Praniyamano Munir Abhyashasta.
Very nice.
Hare Krishna. Shri Sukha Uvacha Iti Bhavana Viduram Vinitam
I think he just finished chanting.
Okay. I'm gonna go to my database, Sadev. So that way I can
Okay.
let me see if I can do that. It's gonna be a little more swifter and smoother, I think. Let me just see. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, great. So Sri Shuka Uvacha, Sri Shukadev Goswami said, you can join me. Iti in unison. Iti das, Bhuvanam speaking, Viduram unto Vidura, Vinitam very gentle, Sahasra Shirshna. This is a nice verse with a nice expression here that Prabhupada will touch upon in a purport. The personality of Godhead, Krishna. Sahasra means 1,000, you know, Sahasra Vishnu now. Yes, the thousands names of Vishnu. Vishnu Sahasrana, right? But sometimes it means infinite. You can't count. Shishnaha means like brains or ability to grasp or just like potency, the intelligent potency. And refers to, so who is infinitely potent? It's, as says here, the personality of God, Krishna. Charana means lotus feet, Upadana, pillow, Prakrishta, Roma, hair standing in ecstasy, Bhagavat, in relationship with the personality of Godhead, Katayam, in the words, Praniyamanaha, being influenced by such spirit, Munihi, the sage, Avyachasta, attempted to speak. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, was pleased to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura, because Vidura was very meek and gentle. The sage Maitreya was very pleased with Vidura's words, and being influenced by his spirit, he attempted to speak. Purport. The word Sahasra Shishniha is very significant. One who has diverse energies and activities and a wonderful brain is known as Sahasra Shishnaha. This qualification is applicable only to the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and no one else. The personality of Godhead was pleased to dine sometimes with Vidura at his home. And while resting, he placed his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura. Maitreya was inspired by the thought of Vidura's wonderful fortune. The hairs on his body stood on end, and he was pleased to narrate the topics of the personality of Godhead with great delight. Text 6. Maitreya uvacha yadasva bharyaya sardham chata swayambhuvo manuhu pranjali pranataschedam vedagarbham abhashata. Translation. The sage Maitreya said to Vidura, after his appearance, Manu, the father of mankind, along with his wife, thus addressed the reservoir of Vedic wisdom, Brahma, with obeisances and folded hands. So Brahma, another name of Brahma is Veda Garbham, reservoir of all Vedic wisdom, Veda Garbham. So these are the first progenitors being created in this section. It's a dawn of creation, as recalled by Shukadev, who's speaking to Parikshit about this conversation between. So remember, Vidura asked so many wonderful questions in previous chapters, and now Maitreya is answering them. Verse 7. Tvam eka sarva bhutanam janmakrit vritidapita tatapina prajanante shushrusha kena va bhavet. Translation. You are the father of all living entities and the source of their subsistence, because they are all born of you. Please order us how we may be able to render service unto you. Purport. As son's duty is not only to make the father the source of supply for all his needs, but also when he is grown up to render service unto him. That is the law of creation beginning from the time of Brahma. A father's duty is to bring up the son until he is grown. And when the son is grown up, it is his duty to render service unto the father. And the final text and verse for today, text 8. Tat videhi namastubhyam karmasi yatma shaktisu yat kritveha yasho vishvag amutracha bhavet gati. O worshipable one, please give us your direction for the execution of duty within our working capacity, so that we can follow it for fame in this life and progress in the next. Report. Brahma is a direct recipient of Vedic knowledge from the personality of Godhead, and anyone discharging his entrusted duties in the cyclic succession from Brahma is sure to gain fame in this life and salvation in the next. The disciplic succession from Brahma is called the Brahma Sampradaya, and it descends as follows. So Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Madhva Muni, Purna Pragya, Padmanabha, Nrihari, Madhva, Akshopya, Jayatirtha, Janasindhu, Dayanidhi, Vidyanidhi, Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purushottama, Brahmananya Tirtha, Vyasa Tirtha, Lakshmipati, Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar, and Sri Rupa Goswami and others. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gorakishore Das Babaji, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. This line of disciplic succession from Brahma is spiritual, whereas the genealogical succession from Manu is material. But both are on the progressive march towards the same goal of Krishna consciousness. Om Jnana Timidam Dasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshura Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Karamayam Tarati Swapatantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivastari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Sri Sukha Uvacha Iti Brahvanam Viduram Vinitam Sahasra Shishnam Charanapadanam Prahrishta Roma Bhagavad Khatayam Pranimayano Muni Abhyash. Bhagavad Khatayam, the words in relationship with the personality of Godhead. There's something that it's expressed also very nicely in previous chapters as Maitreya just starts, because this has been going on for some chapters. And I just want to take a peek back in chapter 8, something wonderful that Maitreya says to Vidura. He says, the royal dynasty of King Puru is worthy to serve the pure devotees because all the descendants of that family are devoted to the personality of God. And then he said, you are also born in that family, and it is wonderful because of your attempt. And it is wonderful that because of your attempt, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are becoming newer and newer at every moment. So this is the nature of Bhagavad Khatayam, the words that are in relation to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God.
Shri Advaita, your line freezes from time to time.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Did I lost you for a second?
Yes, you did.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
You were talking about, what were you talking about?
He was talking about Vidura being worthy of the family of the Yadudanas.
Well, thank you, Salika.
Yeah. Did you hear the verse from the earlier chapter 8? What Maitreya said about
I think
Maitreya said.
You mentioned that, but you did not repeat what it said.
Okay, so let me share that. It's a wonderful. This sets the mood, and it's in relation to Katayam Bhagavat, the words in relation to Supreme Personality of Godhead and the nature of it. So Maitreya said earlier, or right on at the beginning of the 8th chapter, he says to Vidura, the royal dynasty of King Puru is worthy to serve the pure devotees because all the descendants of that family are devoted to Personality of Godhead. You are also born in that family, and it is wonderful that because of your attempt, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are becoming newer and newer at every moment. So this is something that describes the nature of Katayam Bhagavata, the nature of the words and the subject matters that are in relation to the Supreme Personality of God. They're ever new. We have that understanding that as we are properly situated in our attempts, this is we have honest and earnest attempt to please Shri Guru and Gauranga. And in that an earnest attempt, Krishna manifests as a newer and newer experience. And also we can feel that we are thrilled, as Prabhupada explains in the Gita. We are thrilled at every moment, experiencing Krishna consciousness in that light. That's something not only that it's not boring, but it's ever fresh, ever new. Advaitam, Achutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. As Lord Brahma, here he is mentioned too, as Veda Garbha. He's a reservoir of all Vedas. Lord Brahma, he establishes that. Adyam Purana Purusham Nava Yovanam Cha. The older Krishna is so old. Adyam Purana is the prime evil, the original, the OG. He is yet appearing in ever fresh, youthful form with the blooming lotus eyes, right? And his beautiful form tinged with loveliness, very unique loveliness. Bedecked with a peacock feather. So in those kind of ways, devotees are experiencing Krishna. But how? Not through the Vedas, as we also hear from Brahma. Vedeshu durlabham, adurlabham atma bhakto. Through the Vedas is rather very difficult. Vedeshu durlabham. Durlabham means very difficult. Very, very difficult. But adurlabham atma bhakto. Through bhakti, through that angle, through that approach, it becomes opposite of very difficult. It becomes very easy. So I just wanted to share that as a reminder of what kind of conversation they're, although they're talking about creation, we have to understand because of the personalities involved, there's of course nothing mundane about the topics and words in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I beg for the blessings of the devotees that our words, so in that light, that our words and our consciousness be aligned with Guru Parampara. And may Shri Guru Gauranga be pleased, and may all the devotees present be benefited from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam together. Hare Krishna. So Maitreya, anybody knows the meaning of Maitreya? You can just unmute. What is the meaning of Maitreya? What is the meaning of Vidura? Those are all wonderful names. Vidura means, it stems from Vidya, which means wisdom, and Ura means pure, or Vida, Pura Vida, Pura, Ura Pura. So one who is endowed with pure wisdom, one who is of a good heart, that's Vidura. And Maitreya means, it stems from the root Mitra. Mitra means friend. One who is friendly, or one who is capable of friendship, or capable of cultivating the friendship. So that's Maitreya. Maitreya continues to teach Vidura in this section. It's a wonderful section, just 3 verses, but we see a lot of topics, a lot of themes. And it's, I guess, 2nd out of 10 topics that Srimad Bhagavatam covers. Dasha Lakshana Yukta Purana. And there's 10 topics that Bhagavatam covers. First one is Svarga, then Visvarga, like that, ending with shelter, or ultimate shelter, that's Shri Krishna. So Svarga means all the creation that's done by Vishnu, or it's elementary, primary creation. And then Visarga is the secondary creation that is done by Brahma, the first created being in a universe. So, like I mentioned earlier, Vidura was sent to Maitreya by Uddhava, who was younger, and he was also aware of this principle of Maryada Vyatikrama, or the offense of impertinently surpassing a greater personality. This was mentioned also in earlier chapters. That although I may be well versed in a transcendental science, one should be careful about the offense, that offense of surpassing the greater personality of his presence. So Uddhava said, no, Maitreya is nearby, he's older, you go there, you go to him, and he will tell you everything you need to know. So, in conclusion, these 3 verses, we can recognize few messages or few topics, if you wish. I know time is very short, but it's something very nice to meditate on, is being humble. As Vidura was very meek and humble, although Krishna was very much so present in his life. And that's what excited Maitreya. He was excited to hear and to serve such great personality, excited to answer to such great personality as Vidura. That although he was very close to Krishna, he was still exhibiting this quality of humility. Also, the topic of how should we approach? He was approaching with respect and sincerity, and also knowing our role, knowing our place, aligning our actions and our words with with Dharma and the cosmic order of things, as we see. And there's two tiers of that. There's one tier is Vidura speaking to Maitreya, but we see also that the first created and generated the Prajapatis, the first created male and female, namely Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa, created by Brahma, I guess corresponded with Adam and Eve, but you can correct me about that. It's quite close, the original male and female. They are also addressing Brahma in kind of a similar way, very humbly, with respect and sincerity. So it's kind of a double emphasis there in a relatively short section of 4 verses. And also acting within our capacity, which is the balance of worldly duties and spiritual growth. So Vidura's example reminds us that humility, respect, and conscious efforts, they'll always attract wisdom. They'll attract wisdom, they'll attract protection and progress, even in the most challenging circumstances. So who else was emphasizing humility? As followers Lord Chaitanya, we remember his instructions. And I gave it away. This is the essence of teachings of Lord Chaitanya, who always emphasized the importance of humility in this, I call it the reciprocatory lifestyle. As we are looking for love of God, we should also try to meditate on God's love for us. Because I find that to be a key to our humility. So we don't end up kind of stuck in artificial ways to be humble. As we recognize God's love for us on a regular, or should I say daily basis, then it will be very hard to be humble, or I would dare to say it will be even harder to experience love of God or to reach love of God. I think it's a requirement. I believe it's a requirement that unless we can see to what extent Krishna loves us, how much he provides, even for the atheists, or what to speak of devotees, it will be hard to turn respect into expression of gratitude. And we know that's the beginning. That is the dawn of bhakti, feeling the gratitude in our heart for everything that Krishna is providing, that everything is Krishna is giving. It'll be really hard to genuinely reciprocate from I have to do it to I want to do it. Bhakti can be performed out of obligation, out of sense of duty, out of fear even. Religion strikes fear again and again, over and over again. But we don't. We recognize fear as a beginning of wisdom, but we don't want to remain there. We want that fear to evolve into respect, and we want respect to evolve into gratitude, and ultimately we want gratitude to evolve into reciprocal love, or into bhakti, that it can bloom into the pure love of God. So, but again, it starts with us noticing and feeling God's love for us. So that's one point I wanted to share. sometimes, well, actually, not sometimes, in a principle, it is important in order for us to even start noticing, it is important to open our eyes. So who does that? Who opens our eyes? Um, as we offer prayers, very famous prayers, it's a spiritual master. Spiritual master opens our darkened eyes, opens my darkened eyes with a shining lamp of knowledge. And until and unless that happens, it will be very hard to even start that reciprocatory lifestyle, that noticing how much I'm getting, and now I want to reciprocate. So I'm getting, Sahadev, I actually set up the alarm, 11:45, time for questions and comments. But is that correct? 11:45?
Yes, 11:45.
11:45, we're open for questions and comments.
All right, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If anyone may have questions, comments, reflections, you may want to ask or share, please.
Because we go until 12 noon, right?
We don't have specific set time. It depends on the speaker. And if devotees have questions, but usually the speakers speak for about 45 minutes, 1 hour, like you just did, so which is okay.
Okay.
Usually like 1 hour, and then devotees ask questions.
Okay. If not, I can keep going. You're gonna keep an eye on you're keeping an eye on the chat also, right?
Yes. If you have more to share, you may do that. Otherwise, if devotees have
I was just in the middle of just one single point that I just shared, but my alarm came off, reminding me that it's 11:45.
Oh,
because
you can brush the alarm aside and do what you want to do.
Okay. Yeah, so that's one point. And we see that even not only in this situation with Vidura and Maitreya, but also in that another layer of conversation that comes within that conversation between Swayambhuva Manu and Brahma. Swayambhuva Manu also, it's very meek and very humble, as sun is, that is explained in, I believe it came up in a purport, one of the purports today, the last purport, that the son towards father, he feels also very meek and humble. We know parents are the first guru, especially mother. Mother, apparently it's 100 times more important than the father, her being the first guru. And we see how the role of a mother is important because there are studies, serious studies. These are, internationally recognized results and data from the field of psychology, that those who don't have that motherly love from the beginning of their life, early on in their life, in their upbringing, who are bereft somehow, it becomes the most unfortunate thing because later on in life, there's a lot of stifling and a lot of blockage in their growth as adults, not just physical, but also psychological. They have a much greater difficulty dealing with any authority in life. And when the heart is not nourished by motherly love, it creates all kinds of complications later in life. So yeah, dealing with authority. We don't want to just deal with authority, but we want to deal with somebody who cares, because it's not about being authoritarian. It's about being able to provide care, and it's about experiencing that care in a way that it's sufficient and nourishing. So Guru does that. He opens the darkened eyes and it brings about nourishment. Now there is, due to the, again, the lack of love early on from our parents and the traumas that one might experience growing up, of parents not providing sufficiently, as mentioned in the purport, it is the duty of a parent to provide, but it's also a duty of a son to reciprocate. So sometimes that dynamic gets harmed, and there's no, uh, um, both parents and progeny can find themselves in a very difficult situation of hard transmission of kindness and love and care. Mm. And so therefore, because of that, a lack of care and lack of love, there's a great deal, there might be a great deal of resistance later on in life to any authority, including the guru as the authority. Because one should follow the instructions of one spiritual master. And to disobey the orders of one spiritual master is one of the offenses to the holy name. So it's not playing games. Spiritual life is not playing games. It is the serious lifestyle with vows that we take and consequences when we don't respond to the higher call, or should I say call of the higher nature. So some might think that, oh, guru is a relic. It's a matter of a past. We don't need a guru anymore. It's something that, before people believed in, but nowadays I can do it myself. DIY, do it yourself. You can just go to YouTube and you can figure it out on your own. But it's rather very difficult. It is impossible. So therefore, the Vedas, they suggest an imperative. It is the must, an imperative that one must approach. Sagurum eva bigachat. And that is being humble. And that's another misconception. Being humble and meek is mistaken to weakness, being, or just being docile. You don't have your own backbone. This is how sometimes people comment on surrendering to Guru, while in the same time they're surrendering to their bosses, their husbands, their wives, their nation, their army, superiors. Everybody surrenders to something. So this meekness and humility and kindness is mistaken for weakness. What do you think about that? Would that be a true statement? Or should I say, how's meekness and humility and kindness, how's that a strength and not a weakness, as we believe to be? Any comments on that? I have a question for you, for all of you. We see both Manu and Vidura, they exhibit this quality. So how is that not a weakness? Contrary to modern day belief, than being humble, being meek. Oh, it's something it's retarded. It's a relic, a thing of a past. Hmm? How do we understand that? Any ideas? Any contributions? Or you agree with the modern day belief that being humble, being meek is a weakness. Meekness is a weakness. True or false? Convince me.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
I would say meekness is a strength.
Okay, elaborate, please. Why should I believe you? Why should I believe what you're saying now?
It's a strength in the sense that when you are meek before the right person who is not out there to take advantage of you, but to help you, then you're actually going to get help. If someone wants to help me and I do not go in with meekness, then he may not help me. Because there is a saying that pride, false pride, leads one to a fall. So if I go in meekness, it means that I am actually in need of what I'm trying to get from you. And with that meekness, you're going to help me. But I may not be meek if someone wants to kill me, because self-preservation is the first principle, is the basic principle. I'll run away.
That's right. You'll be meekly running away. Or you'll be meekly standing your ground. How
Yeah,
about that too?
yeah.
I respectfully stand my ground. Yes,
Hi,
this is one.
Yes,
Yes, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please have my obeisances. All goes to Prabhupada, all goes
Wonderful
to
smile. Look at that wonderful
Wonderful
smile.
to have you here today, dear brother. Thank you so much
yeah.
on this amazing platform of bhakti education and fearlessness for this path, which is absolutely necessary in this time of confusion and calamity. Regarding the word meek, from a biblical perspective, and the Bible is actually honorable, as is all literature in pursuit of God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, by whatever name one calls God at any point in time, in the alignment of us understanding that all paths lead to God, to consciousness, Krishna. Um, the word meek, greatly misunderstood, but from a biblical perspective, it references that uh, the question, what did Jesus mean by meek when it was referenced in the Bible? And when Jesus called the meek blessed, he did not mean weak or passive, but rather the definition of meek used in reference to that statement was those who possess strength under control. Strength under control as a definition for this word meek. And those who would have themselves be in control and overpower and abuse those who are not as strong physically, emotionally, mentally, economically, generally would have actually taken this word meek and made it mean that you have abused someone small, not as strong, and now this byproduct of abuse is meek, meaning lacking control, lacking strength, lacking will, And this is a heavy thing that is happening under Kali Yuga, to beat out of or emotionally abuse someone to the point where they do not have any will. They do not even have faith any longer in God or anything else. And this is an epidemic. And in our temples, in houses of worship, we have to get back to um, girding up everyone so that they can become stronger in their faith to God and not the dollar and not titles, and to know that Krishna sees everything and cares for each of us and will protect us in those dark moments, and to not ever give up, but to be strong and to possess and to become stronger in our faith and control.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much, Triveni. That was on the money, as they say. Anybody else wants to contribute? How meekness is defined, or it's meant to be originally, um, and not popular to the, as it is seen and popular to the modern day views as weakness, but rather strength that is under control. What is strength without control? So this kind of brings us to that kind of original scene of Vidura leaving the courthouse or the assembly hall after being insulted with Duryodhana. Was Duryodhana meek? But he was powerful. However, he was out of control. This is the scene mentioned in a verse 5 today, that sometimes Krishna will place his lotus feet at the lap of Vidura. Remember, Krishna went as a peacemaker to settle. He wanted to settle. But Duryodhana was out of control. Not me. Krishna came, and on his way to taste a big feast, so Duryodhana invited him. He was hoping he can get him on his side. And Krishna came as a peacemaker, and Duryodhana had this wonderful feast made by the top chefs, the top cooks. But he didn't. He had a very interesting conversation with Duryodhana. It's in there in Mahabharata. But he didn't end up going there. He went in the house of Vidura, where Vidura's wife, Vidurani, prepared very simple preparations. And there was mention of also bananas. But she was so excited and so, you know the story, so glad that Krishna has come, that she was peeling the bananas, throwing the bananas, and offering the peels. In some vernacular, they'll call it a spaced out, but nevertheless, Krishna accepted it. He was eating the peels. And after a meal, such was the great fortune of Vidura that Krishna placed his feet in his lap and he was able to hold him tight. So this is from Mahabharata, very interesting section. Duryodhana came down from his elevated seat and welcomed Krishna warmly. He showed him to a large throne covered with an exquisite silk carpet and soft white cushions. When Krishna was seated, he personally worshipped him and offered him the traditional gift of a cow. His brothers also came and worshipped Krishna along with other kings. When the rites were complete, so Krishna was friend to all, and he always gives everybody a chance. However, he also knows one's heart. So when the rites were complete, Duryodhana folded his palms and said, "We honored, O Govinda, What can we do for you? You might consider this wide kingdom and all of our wealth yours. Please be gracious and accept an invitation to dine with us. We're prepared Dushashan's palace for your residence, which is superior even to my own. So he's bragging. You can see the subtleties here, right? You can catch the subtleties. And then Krishna responded. He said, I will not eat with you, O hero, nor shall I stay in Dushashan's palace. Duryodhana smiled and spoke with forced humility. So if you wondered what forced humility sounds like, I'll try my best. Actually, it should be natural for me. Why do you refuse our invitation, O Janardhan? Are we not as dear to you as the Pandavas? See, divisions. He's starting his political game right at the beginning. Are we not dear to you as the Pandavas? It's like trying to guilt trip. How do you say guilt trip Krishna? He's trying to guilt trip Krishna. Surely you see both parties equally. And not only that, but he's preaching to Krishna what he should do. Your relationship with Dhritarashtra is as close as your relationship with the Pandavas. Oh, Madhava, please tell me why you will not accept our hospitality. Hmm. Only those messengers who have gained their objectives should accept the hospitality offered by those who have received his message. He raised his long arm and held out his palm towards Duryodhana. After you fulfill my wish, you may entertain both myself and my followers. So this is Krishna saying, I've come here to, settle. And after you fulfilled my wish, then I might entertain, I might accept your offer, and you might entertain both myself and my followers. So Krishna is sometimes Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj or Guru Maharaj, he would say, I'm not an eating Swami. Sometimes very often, they invite sannyasis to eat at their home. So I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj had a rule that unless they they give a certain donation for which he was famous for, making life members and whatnot, he would not eat. Because if you eat and they take care of you, then they think they have done their part. But he would always have a price attached to that. I'm not an eating Swami, Guru Maharaj used to say. Struggling to control his anger, Duryodhana replied, it is not befitting that you treat us so, O Madhusudana. Whether your objects are achieved or not, we are bent upon pleasing you with our hospitality. So he doesn't care. He really doesn't care. He just wants, obviously, you can see it's self-centered. You have denied us that opportunity with no good reason, O best of men. We feel no enmity towards you, and therefore cannot understand why you snub us in this way. Krishna was grave. Quote, this is Krishna speaking. I never abandon virtue from motives of desire, anger, hate, or attachment. One should eat another's food if there is love between them, or if he is in distress. O king, you do not please me, and I'm not in distress. For no reason you have borne malice towards the Pandavas from their childhood. Your cousins are virtuous and devoted to the good of all beings. Whoever bears malice for such blameless men bears malice towards me. He who follows the virtues follows me. Know that I'm merged in the Pandavas and I cannot be separated from them. Krishna looked intently but without anger at Duryodhana, who frowned. O Bharata, whoever becomes antagonistic towards a virtuous man, impelled by lust or anger, should be known as the wildest of men. He does not keep his prosperity for long. On the other hand, he who wins over virtuous men with service and kind words, even though they might not be dear to him, gains great renown in the world. Your food is defiled by wickedness. I will not eat it. I prefer instead to stay with Vidura and eat his food. Hare Krishna. So that's the kind of the section and the scene mentioned briefly um, in the verse 5 today. And similarly, we see in dealings, so that's one tier. On the other tier of conversation within the conversation is Swayambhuva Manu's dealings with Brahma as a son of Swayambhu, which is the name of Brahma, Swayambhu, Swayambhuva of Swayambhu, son of Brahma, and his wife Satarupa, the noble one of a good character, pure-hearted. They're so, again, meek and humble, standing in front of their father, Brahma, ready to obey the orders, which in this time of the dawn of creation is to populate and fill the universe. And we see it again, that dynamic uh, uh, between the sons and daughters and parents as being so crucial, so essential in one's development, not just both materially and spiritually. It is divine. In the purport, Prabhupada says, it is divine, divinely inspired. We cannot treat it as material because it becomes a stepping stone. The way we feel about our parents it definitely affects the way we're going to be dealing with any authority in life, and especially with our spiritual authorities. So it cannot be emphasized enough. Srila Prabhupada, he was in such a fortunate situation that his father, Gaur Mohan De, was a great Vaishnava. Daily, he would invite sadhus. Daily, he would feed them, not just invite them, but he would feed them and ask them to bless his child, Abhay Charan, that he might become a great devotee of Radharani, Radha's Bhakta. And that he also was hoping that Abhay Charan will learn Mridanga. Unlike his mother wanted him to become a lawyer, but both parents, they wanted the best for Abhay Charan, of which father's love, and Prabhupada says the father, he was more gentle. His mother was more stern. When he wanted two guns, he had one gun, cowboy gun. And he said, I have two hands, I want two guns. His mother was against it, but father, he accommodated. He said, yeah, you should let him have two guns. And he dedicates his Krishna book to his father, Gaur Mohan De. Yeah. That's how we should feel in our heart. Again, this reciprocatory lifestyle, it's the essential quality of any devotee's life or living. The way we live is either we feel that gratitude in the heart and consequently we want to reciprocate, or we don't. If we don't, then there's something that we need to take a closer look. Why can't we reciprocate? Or what is blocking? Because that is just the beginning of bhakti. That we can perform in so many different ways, but unless it's performed with some kind of uh, feeling of gratitude, Krishna is not attracted, as you can see. Krishna, he doesn't have to. He's not in distress. He doesn't have to accept the offering. So we have to work very, very hard to dig out, to find the reason, or more than one, as many reasons as possible, why we should reciprocate with Krishna. And if you look in the east, you'll see the sun is rising every morning. That's one very big reason we should feel grateful and try to reciprocate. The fact that we are alive, the healing, there's hope for healing. And Krishna has brought the medicine. This morning we were walking, we take japa walks here. It's a new custom here in Gainesville. At 6:30, we'll go through a japa walk to neighborhoods. So you see the cluster of devotees just going through the neighborhood, like a gang of japa chanters. And we're talking about somebody tripped. But what is worse than tripping? If you trip, what is one thing that is worse than to trip? It's to fall. And what is worse than falling? What is worse than to fall? Some say not to get up when we fall, but I thought about it, and I think there's a step before we feel that pain and hurt. The worst than falling is abruptly stopping, because we might be falling and we might be falling, but as long as we keep chanting and keep the company of the best association with the holy name of Sri Krishna, the holy names of the Lord, will be gently placed to wherever we need to be. There will be so avoid, as we are falling, we want to fall upward and we want to avoid abruptly stopping. So never stop chanting. And as we continue chanting through whatever situation we might be going through, we'll be gently placed. To wherever we need to be. And consequently, we'll grow. We'll grow in our expressions of gratitude, which ultimately culminates in pure love. What prema is this faith, this gratitude that we feel, but in a very dense form. It's like milk and fudge or burfi. It's milk, but it's in a very dense form. That is the direction we hope to go. Okay. 12:20. Sahadev, tell me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Like Mitravinda Devi just said, it's very wonderful the way you presented it. Talking, and especially Mother Mitravinda also talking about giving it a definition of meekness. Some time ago, I saw one truck, and on the back, there was a writing on the back, and it says, power without control is dangerous.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah. And it used to be,
That was the first billboard I ever seen in Croatia in early 90s.
yeah.
When even before the war, when the West culture was coming in, it was the first billboard I ever seen, and it was a advertisement for tires. You know, Pirelli, I think it's
Pirelli,
French.
yes. Yeah, that was their motto.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
it.
the motto of that tire company, Pirelli.
That's it. It's Pirelli. Yeah,
Yes,
funny.
yes, you got it. That was in the 90s, like 93, 94. There.
Yeah. Power without control is dangerous. Yeah, or
Yes.
means nothing or
Yeah, it means
dangerous. Yeah.
nothing, yes. So it's very interesting this tire company understood it that way, because if we look at Sri Krishna, who is the powerhouse of all powers, but look at how, what's the name of this guy who insulted Krishna so many times?
Jarasandha?
Yeah, Jarasandha.
No, okay.
How many times he insulted Krishna? Even Duryodhana himself also insulted Krishna in so many ways. Vidura, we're talking about Vidura, he was insulted so many times by his nephew. And he had so much powers that because he had control over the powers, we are celebrating him today. But my question I have is this reciprocation thing you're talking about, which is very, very important. But how does one try to reciprocate when he does not, in the first place, believe that whatever is going on in his life is as a result of someone else? If I think whatever is going on in my life, especially whatever good is going on in my life, is all due to my own effort, my hard work, my smartness, my uniqueness, that is why these good things are coming to me. So if that is my understanding to life, then how am I going to think of somebody else helping me and me also doing something to reciprocate? So in this sense, in this way, how do we, for us, we're trying to be devoted, so we understand it that way, that Krishna is there, God is there, the God factor is there. But those who do not believe in the existence of God, the atheists, how can we try to encourage them to reciprocate when they do not believe in the existence of God? What do we do? How do we do that?
How do you reciprocate with somebody who doesn't believe in the existence of God?
Yeah, how do we encourage somebody to reciprocate with God when they do not believe in God? For me and the devotees here, we believe in God, that even having the ability to speak now is by the grace of God. But someone who is an atheist doesn't believe, and doesn't believe like that, doesn't think like that. And so how do I tell such a person that, hey, whatever you are able to attain in life is as a result of God's grace and mercy on you. So you should also reciprocate, just as fathers take care of the children grow up to a certain stage, and they also in turn do something to serve their parents. You should do that. They don't believe.
Yeah.
How do I tell them?
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful of offense number 9. I believe it's 9. To speak to the faithless
Faithless.
in a way that they cannot digest or comprehend. Like I just realized my camera was off.
Yes, I didn't say anything in that regard because we were hearing you much clearer when your camera was off than when you had it on.
Okay, whatever works.
I thought your wavelength was.
No, I was not aware, and
Okay.
my apologies because I don't like when I can turn it on, and it was working, but I was just not aware.
All right.
Because I was on a database reading from Mahabharata.
Yeah.
But anyway, turning the light on. So like if somebody doesn't accept God, like if the camera is off, you see the figure, but you can't tell what it is and who it is. Oh, we can tell it's something, but we can't tell who it is. It's impossible to bring about that faith by force unless and until we turn the camera on. And the camera is turned on by our kindness and service opportunity that we give them in a form of loving exchange. The beginning of their bhakti is the faith that they put in us. It's not by us telling them to forcefully accept the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's by our gentle and kind consideration of where they are at. I mean, nobody joins the Hare Krishna movement as a pure devotee. Oh, maybe there's few who joined as a pure devotee, but we rather go through this pure devotee syndrome that it can last longer or shorter, depending of how soon our bubble gets burst. So that time, that time of the beginning is very important, because you can actually genuinely religiously traumatize something. And my golden rule, if I cannot help somebody to come closer to Krishna, I surely should not be the one to push them even further away. So I'm very careful to, number one, first establish a relationship with a person, not even talking or mentioning God at all. Just, shooting a breeze, playing a hoop, or playing a pool table, and just being genuinely interested and curious, stay curious about them. Press them with questions, but in a not judgmental, but in kind of curious kind of way. And as you press them with questions that are above and beyond their capacity to, just as a food for thought, they might come to you because they'll feel comfortable. The beginning, they start asking you questions. That's the beginning of their faith. They're asking you because now they want to hear from you. Unless and until they ask, I stay away from any kind of teaching and preaching. That's my golden rule. I'm sure there could be a casualties even there, but it is our job, it is our side of responsibility to prevent those casualties as much as possible. Because we kind of hold the cards. We hold what the next move is going to be. They don't know any better. They are completely locked in and completely under the spell. And the way to break that is we give them an opportunity of friendship. And as they become friends, they might ask some questions. Serve them. Yeah, this is what St. Francis, I always liked St. Francis. This is what he said when he sent his first followers to spread the gospel. of their Lord, Lord Jesus Christ. He said, yeah, go far and wide and spread the message of our dear Lord, Lord Jesus Christ. And if you have to, he said, if you have to, use the words. Again, our precepts, our behavior, our conduct is the best way to preach. As Guru Maharaj used to say, your actions are so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. I can't hear it. Because what we show by our example, yeah, anybody can speak very nicely. But to have achar, so prachar is speaking, but to have an achar, to have a behavior, this is the ornament of a devotee, his proper conduct, his care, a genuine care and compassion that he feels. And when you're genuinely caring and you're genuinely compassionate, Krishna from within, he will inspire. That's another thing. If you're genuinely excited to be in a company of somebody, and you're excited about opportunities to offer service to them, Krishna will inspire about what to do next, what to say, how to say it. And this is how I define good japa. We chant japa for one reason. We're hoping for a good japa. And good japa will manifest, that empowerment will manifest to be in the right place in the right time and do the right thing in the right way. Or say the right thing in the right way. And trust me, you know that, Sadhu. People don't remember what you said, but they sure remember how you made them feel. Everybody remembers that. So that's, for me, that's preaching. Atheist, scientist, I don't care. Everybody is sentient being. Everybody will respond. Everybody will respond when there's genuine compassion, kindness, and humility. You're speaking language of love. No matter how hardcore atheist, nobody can deny a genuine humility, because it's not out of this. It's not of this world. It's out of this world. Bhakti is out of this world. So as they experience that in our company, they'll be attracted. There's no. It'll be a response from the heart, on a heart level. They'll be powerless in a sense. Why? Because you are pleasing Krishna. Our attitude and our attempts, again, our genuine and sincere attempts will be pleasing Krishna. So Krishna from within, as Paramatma, will do the rest. It's always a triangle. If we think we're the doer, hey, you might be learning things the hard way. And in the process, you might be creating a lot of bloodshed and harm, and spiritual harm. And it's real, as Mitrarinda Devi was mentioning earlier. It's real. Pastoral abuse, it's real. Pain, unprocessed pain and hurt in religious or spiritual organizations, it's real. But no matter what it is, never stop, because abrupt stop is when the pain gets stuck. And we want to keep processing whatever we are going through by taking shelter of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. The answer to my question is so wonderful, so sweet. I don't know why I asked this question, because I shouldn't have asked the question in the first place. Why? Because just yesterday, we played a tape from His Grace Radical Raman Prabhu. He was teaching hermeneutics. And one key thing he said that I said I'm going to try to remember, which I wrote it down, and he said that our job as devotees is to make Krishna and Prabhupada a well-wisher to each and every one by our own behavior and activities. So some people may not like Krishna, they may not accept Krishna, they may not accept Prabhupada and his teachings or whatever. But if we, the followers of Krishna and Prabhupada, live our lives in such a way that we attract people and people want to know what makes you so sweet, what makes you so nice, what makes you so nice that I always like to be close to you, like to see you. That is, I don't know, but whatever I'm doing is as a result of this person's teaching. That is okay. Then I also want to know. So it's so true. Like you referenced St. Francis. The main preaching is our behavior. And if we have some spare time to say something, then we say something. But the real preaching is our behavior. So thank you. And thank you for reminding us and me in particular, because we just heard this from Radhika Raman Prabhu yesterday. So thank you so much, Greta Prabhu. If someone else has something to share or ask, please, we may do that. Oh, Shri Govinda Prabhu.
Govinda.
Yes, Garuda. The great Garuda is here.
Are you parked? Wait, Govinda. Are you parked or you're moving? Are you moving or you parked?
I'm parked right now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We want to make sure that you're not moving.
That is before the fall.
Yeah.
But this one is no fall.
This is a gentle placement.
Yeah, okay.
A gentle placement.
All right, Sri Govinda, you may go.
Well, thank you very much, big brother. My respectful obeisances to you.
Right.
Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. You are actually an Acharya.
Mhm.
You are proving that Gurudev was not wrong giving you this name, Advaita Acharya.
With a small a and big D, Dasa.
Well, thank you very, very much, Prabhu. My respectful obeisances to the devotees and my obeisances to Guru Parampara. Thank you very much, Prabhu. This your answer to Sadhu Prabhu's question is actually very, very, very powerful. And I think is the essence of our practice. Service is the essence. And even though we've been hearing this over and over for many, many, decades, but we, condition shows we always forget. So thank you for reminding us one more time. And it's actually very powerful. Thank you. You see, I had an experience recently. I was in Ghana with my brother who is an evangelist, and we are always fighting. When we, as soon as there's a religion, then there's always a fight. So this time I decided I'm not going to fight him no more. I'm not even going to talk about religion, but I decided to serve him. And then he came. He's in Holland. He came with his wife and daughter, and myself with Sunita and the devotees. I called for dinner, so they were all in my house, and I was serving them personally, serving them. So I served them for about 5 days. So at a point, you're on a dining table, eating. And then he asked me, when are you going to India? He asked me, when are you going to India, Kojo? And I said, oh, very soon, by the Lord's grace, I will be there. He said, you should go to India. So I was so shocked. And then again, on this table, the same sitting, there were other, aunties who were taking vegetarian diet, and they were enjoying it so much. And this auntie was saying, wow, there's no meat in this food, but I don't even feel it. And so immediately, this my brother started preaching about vegetarianism, and I was so quiet. I was so quiet, and I was just listening to him. So service is power. Service is powerful. So thank you for reminding us, Prabhu. Thank you, and also thank your wife for us. She is actually showing us practical example, about the importance of serving devotees. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Service wins the heart.
Yes.
And this is
Truly.
what Guru Maharaj told Hari Chakra. So Hari Chakra, nobody can argue with him from Bible. And he will win anybody. Any debate from Bible, Hari Chakra is the king. But that wasn't enough. So Guru Maharaj told him, don't just defeat him. We have to win their hearts. Because nobody likes to be defeated. It's very humiliating. It's like, in the light of this most recent assassination. Yeah, the guy was, very self-righteous. But nobody likes to be humiliated like that. You might be right, or might be wrong, that's irrelevant. But the mood, it can be very aggravating. But what we're interested in is winning heart. And winning hearts is only possible in a mood of service. If there's a service and there's a mood of service, again, now you're speaking the language of the heart. And nobody can ignore that.
Yeah.
They have to respond. They have to
Yeah.
respond. We just have to learn how to speak that language. If not, there's a bullet. There's a bullet waiting for us also. Very dangerous. It's very dangerous, this self-righteous, judgmental, divisive. We see that it's not appealing to Krishna. We see that in Mahabharata. He was not attracted at all by the bling of opulence, and when in that kind of environment, not at all. So we shouldn't play games in those kind of ways. And that's hard. It's hard to embrace our constitutional position when, since time immemorial, our false ego has been singing the greatest of all songs of all the time, of all times. The greatest of all songs of all time? You are so great. You are so great. You are so great. When Krishna is great, and we have a great opportunity to render some service to Krishna's devotees. And last time I checked, everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. So as you treat them as devotee, guess what? They'll respond as devotees. All you got to do is just treat whoever you come in contact with. You treat them as devotees. They're going to respond as devotees. Just treat them right. That's going to be probably the only regret in our lives, that we were not kind enough to somebody or someone.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That reminds me of one saying I came across some time ago. It says, it's nice to be good, but it's also equally good to be nice. But I have one last question, and probably whatever I need to say for today's Sangha. That is from the text we read today. And if I may put it up here, the text itself. It says, "O worshipful one, please give us your direction for the execution of duty within our working capacity, so that we can follow it for fame in this life and progress in the next." I was thinking that if we're trying to be devotees, we are not after fame. But here, the sons of, I think this is the Manu, the sons of.
Yes, Vayambhuvana Manu is talking to Brahma, yes.
Yes, talking to, yes. Why is he asking for fame in this life and progressing in the next? I would think that you want to perform devotional life and then go back home. What fame are we looking for in this material universe? If you may help, Prabhuji, please.
It's a side effect. You're not looking for fame, but naturally, as a side effect, you will become famous.
Oh,
There are devotees in our movement. I know for sure because I know few. I call them the unknown heroes. They're famous, but it's not known. They're famous to Krishna, but sometimes it's not known to the world. Nevertheless, they bring about so much joy to Guru and Gauranga, and therefore they're famous. They're famous in their establishment and their determination and commitment in their service, that day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, they continue with their service, their glorious service. So that's fame. They're not after that, but as a side product, they become famous.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we as a movement, we don't recognize enough, I would say, those who are not in direct spotlight. There's so many. Simple cook that's been making burfis and sweets, Mongol sweets for their beloved Radha Krishna or whatever deity they've been serving for decades. And we only hear about them after they pass. Then we hear about their glories and their fame. It is, in a way, sad. It's a little sad that we cannot recognize and be aware and not glorify them, but yes, glorify them, why not? And be of service to those famous devotees. But they're unknown. Sometimes also they're very expert in hiding. They don't want fame. They don't want fame, but fame follows them.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're marching towards light. So as you walk towards light, what happens? The shadow naturally follows you.
Yeah.
It becomes a side product. In that way, the devotee is famous.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. As we connect and make our connections through our services with a serious commitment and longevity, something that is sustainable for lifetime, and naturally, that's a famous. It's a famous act of devotion.
Yeah. Yeah. Srimadavan Prabhu, Please, you may unmute. You're still muted.
Hare
Good.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. All glory, all praise unto God, all praise to Prabhupada. We are very grateful for this wonderful presentation today, and we are very happy to have you on this platform. So, about this, our last discussion, I think what was more crucial or important is that Manu is actually begging to execute for service from his father. And I think this example is very exemplary for us. And when we look at text 7 also, which explains the son's duty, not also when it's grown up, we should render service very well of us. And incidentally, even today, a senior brother of mine came to me, and he was telling me that he's a businessman, but he expresses the fact that he's no more seeing the job. He's not getting the job as it used to be. So I told him that the reason is because of age. He's in about 75 or 60 years old. So I explained to him that it's natural that he's not going to see the job anymore. So the best thing now is to pray for the children to be successful so that it can be sustained. So it's like the same thing that was explained in this purpose 7 also, that the son has to take care of their grown-up. And Shamba Muni was actually begging for a service from his father. And that's why he even expressed the consequence that even by executing these services, one will automatically become famous and then be successful in the next life. Just to convince the father that I should give him the service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You were breaking several parts. That is why we turned your video off to, yeah. But I hope Advaita Acharya Prabhu, you heard it. Yeah, okay. But in effect, what he was saying was that text 7 also reads that the children themselves wanted to render service to their father, which is kind of lacking in these modern days. Lots of the time, people don't want to render service. But there is also one important question in the chat room, which says, Prabhuji, if somebody you are always doing something to please is not appreciating whatever you're doing, do you have to still continue doing whatever you're doing to please that particular devotee? This is the question.
That'll be very hard. It'll be very hard to continue service for somebody who's unappreciative, ungrateful.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we only continue service because there's 3 qualities. One is more powerful. One is a friend or friendly disposed, inclined. And the third one is grateful. So if any of these are missing, will be less inclined to continue service. Somebody might be grateful and might be friendly, but they might not be in situation to reciprocate with us. They might not have a power of reciprocating. Then we won't be inclined. Some might be able, they're powerful, they might be able to reciprocate with us, and they're feeling grateful, but they're not friendly towards us. Yeah, that also, it's very not inspiring for anybody to continue. But the worst of all is somebody might be powerful and we're serving and they're friendly, but they never express their gratitude or they show their gratitude. That's the worst of all. So how do we still continue? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to continue. And it is our duty sometimes to communicate that. It is our duty to communicate that in a very open way, non-judgmental, non-threatening way. That I've been feeling. We can check in. We can express how we're feeling. I've been feeling that my service or my contribution to this community, to this relationship, to this company, it's not being appreciated. How do you feel about what I feel? Is there truth in it? And then they might say, well, I've been reciprocating in this way and that way and stuff. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
I think
Hare Krishna.
I think, yeah, Govinda Prabhu, yes.
Yeah, Prabhu, Advaita Chaya Prabhu, how do we, from what you are saying, how do we answer that to Krishna saying that we should perform our duty but not be attached to the result? So you are serving somebody, whether it's appreciating or not appreciating. Krishna says, continue to do your duty. Don't be attached. Don't look for fame or honor or respect or anything. Just continue your duty and don't be attached to the results. But how do you answer from your answer to this question, how do you relate that to what Krishna is saying? That don't be attached to the result.
Yeah, those are two, I see them as two separate things. Not being attached to the results. It's granted, that's there. Krishna says you have a right to perform your duty, but you have no right to results. But that still doesn't mean that as we're serving, and we're always serving somebody, ultimately, as devotees, we want to serve Guru and Gauranga, and we want to serve and please devotees. But if you don't feel your service has been accepted and reciprocated with, results or no results, it's not going to be fulfilling. See, the love is a two-way street. And if it is not a two-way street, if we don't feel the love, for how long one can continue? And what to speak of, our service being taken for granted and we being exploited for service, and God forbid, abused for service. So there should be always some form of reciprocation and gratitude that is expressed to someone who is voluntarily, all of this in a realm of bhakti, all of this is done voluntarily. Results or no results, that shouldn't mean that we, in an impersonal way, fail to express our gratitude for the attempts of somebody trying to attend to the needs in that relationship, that family, that company, or that community.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Well, thank you so much. We go to Madam, hold on a minute, please. Hold on a minute, Madam Prabhu. We'll go to Shrimad Prabhu. He had his hand up. Shrimad Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance. All
Yeah.
glory to Guru and Goranga, all glory to the Assembly devotees. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Well, I removed my hand because Govinda Prabhu just asked the same question. The same thing I wanted to say, that's what he said. But if I can just add my my little contribution. I think one thing devotional service taught us is, selfless service. We might have learned many things outside there in the world, but that it is in Krishna consciousness that we actually imbibe the spirit of selfless service. And that selfless service is because we think we believe we're doing whatever we're doing for Krishna. As soon as we think that we're doing it for somebody, yes, we can be discouraged. And that is not to minimize what Prabhu had just said about appreciating people's service. But nonetheless, if we want to remain longer in our devotional service, then we have to think that whatever we're doing is for Krishna's pleasure. Because two things will happen if we, let me use the word, if we want the result of being appreciated, two things will happen. When we don't get it, yes, like Prabhu said, it will be difficult to continue. And even if we continue, then we have the tendency to want to reject service, because we say, well, I did this that much, they did not appreciate it, what should I do now? And you never can tell at what point Krishna is testing you. So when we put our mind to do service, then we should just still our mind to whatever is the result. Because the same people that are not appreciating may come to you one day and request for your service. And then you might have made up your mind, no, they never appreciated my service, why should I do it? But then Krishna has a reason why he wants you to be that person to do that service. So it's a very dicey thing. We know that we're encouraged by
Well, it looks like we lost
our motivation. Not be our motivation to continue. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shrimad Acharya Prabhu. Shri ADVAITA Prabhu, are you still here? I just wanted to say something really quick if you have some response.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Madhuvan. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Just what I want to say is that same Krishna said that charity has to be done to the right person at the right place at the right time. So instead of wasting our charity on someone else will appreciate it so that it won't be effort wasted. So I think we have to be conscious in that way. So Krishna Koshana, that's my.
Well, thank you. Thank you. What I wanted to share is in line with what you just said, Madhuvan Prabhu, in the sense that Like Advaita Acharya Prabhu, in the course of his speaking, said that only few devotees were born pure devotees. Most of us are sadhana bhaktas. No. So as a sadhana bhaktas, what can we do to help these people, to give them? And I have asked this question several times. We always talk about the preliminary stages of devotional service is faith. And you can only have faith when you pray to God. God answers your prayers. But you always pray, and you don't get answers. How do you develop faith? When Mother Kunti was praying to Krishna, bring all these calamities, bring all that, she knew why she was praying like that, because there were so many times she went into trouble and Krishna was there to help her. Maybe that is not in my case. So it will be very stupid on my part to pray to Krishna, let calamities fall upon me. When did Krishna got me out of calamities? So talking about appreciation is not like somebody doing something to expect appreciation, but you doing something, you want to make sure that what you're doing is the right thing. And the person you're working under is telling you, yeah, this is the right thing. We've seen so many times Srila Prabhupada crying, saying to his disciples, help me. Who are we to ever think that we can help Prabhupada? But he is saying that we should help him. And he appreciated every single thing every single devotee did. He was personally writing letters to almost every single disciple. He was writing to them. Why? It's encouragement. So this appreciation is a very, very important thing that most of us overlook. There are some devotees, whether they get it or not, they will still go on. But how many? How many? So this is my view. This is my view. This is my understanding. I didn't want to say this live, but since we're talking about this, I might as well say it. We have a devotee. We have one devotee. I know this devotee has been doing food for life 5 days in a week for more than 12, 15 years. People never say any word of appreciation. What is wrong with us? There is something wrong with us. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, the culture of appreciation. It is the basis, and thank you so much, everybody, for contributing. It echoes in my heart what everybody, everything that you all said, it really echoes in my heart. And thank you, Govinda Prabhu. I see you're back on the road. So be careful. Drive safely. And I want to, in the light of all of this, I want to appreciate all of you. You're all my senior God brothers and God sisters. I want to appreciate you all because I know you have sacrificed so much to be where you are now, but I also know, and I hold you all with a great gratitude in my heart, that you were, and you still are, the inspiration in my life. And there are those, I know, there are those many, like Sahadev said, that they are in the category of unknown heroes that we have to recognize. We have to recognize. And this is the way we please Krishna. Because Krishna says, it's not the devotee who says is my devotee, but a devotee who says is a devotee of my devotees. So what do we do, and how do we express that devotion of Krishna's devotees, or to Krishna's devotees? The minimal we can do is thank you and recognize. I noticed that pattern. The culture of lack of gratitude is rampant. The culture of entitlement is rampant. Has nothing to do with not being attached to results, and success or failure. The culture of entitlement and the lack of gratitude is rampant in the world. It's destroying. It's destroying bhakti. There's nothing more detrimental to bhakti than lack of gratitude. So I've noticed that tendency here in Gainesville. So we have cooks who are rising every morning at 3 a.m. and they're cooking for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of students. We see them in the morning in a rush, and then we don't see them the rest of the day. But when we do, how do we relate to them? Do we thank them? I don't think we thank them enough. And they've been doing this week after week, month after month, year after year. All the big companies. I mean, if you look at the big companies, they have these recognitions of I say employer of the year or employer of the month, employer of the year. We don't have that. Why? Because we think devotees will get puffed up. That's ludicrous. That's crazy. That's crazy. It is not our problem. That's like bias remorse. I won't do it because it's going to be bad. Now, first buy it. First buy into it. Buy into the culture of appreciation. Then see how it works. And it's not our problem if somebody gets puffed up because we are glorifying them. That's not our problem. And we will help them. Even if that happens, we'll help them understand that it's service. It is service that is glorious. It's never really us. It is service that is glorious.
Well, thank you so much. And I think it was.
I think Hari Chakra had a hand. I saw Hari Chakra's hand.
Yeah. You see, each time we think it is over, then
ain't over. Ain't over until Hari Chakra speaks.
Yes, Hari Chakra.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
She.
Radhe.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you very much, ADVAITA Prabhu. Thank you. I was just thinking about what Sir Dave just said and all the things that you have said about appreciation. I think one of the biggest mistakes we make is not even just the appreciation side. It's like as devotees, most of the time, we meet somebody and the person is going through a lot. That person might be a devotee or not. They are going through a lot. And all that we say is, oh, it's their karma. It's their karma. And we don't do anything to help the people. But what we refuse to understand that even though it might be their karma to go through that problem, but it is also their karma that you are available in their life. But we don't see that aspect of our existence, that even though somebody is going through some hardships and Krishna has arranged, let's even put the Krishna factor aside, that karma also has arranged that person comes into our life so that together we can put our heads together and let the person be able to smoothly go through his or her karma. That's the same thing. And talking about somebody may become puffed up when we glorify the person. Then we must as well say that, why don't we say that if we glorify our gurus, if we chant the glories of the guru, maybe the guru will become puffed up. Why are we not thinking like that? But if we glorify an individual devotee, then we are thinking, oh, maybe he will become puffed up.
That is not our judgment to make. Let's do our part, the part that we play, that will encourage the devotee, that will make the devotee feel that, oh yeah, at least I think I'm on the right path. And in this way, we can make a headway. Madam Malati was once saying that devotees preach personalism, but they are the greatest impersonalists. Because he was telling us that her next door neighbor, if you want the neighbor wants to tell her something, they will do it on email. Send her an email. Next door. The person cannot even come and knock at their door and tell her something. The person will send her an email. And Madam Maliti was like, what is wrong with us? So even though we preach personalism, but we are it looks as if we are the greatest impersonalists. Because that personal, that intimate personal relationship, I think we are lacking it. This is my personal view. I think we lack it, and that is falling short. It is making a lot of things fall short on our devotional path. A lot of things are falling short on our devotional path because of this lack of personal relationship, trying to appreciate people for the little they do, and then also see that everything that happens to anybody who is in our life, it is also the person's karma that we are there in their life, so that we can help them go through it smoothly. Thank you.
I think that is our greatest asset as Gita Nagari inhabitants.
We can, thank you, Sari Chakra, that was wonderful. We can never, if I may add, we can never become dead numb. We can never allow ourselves to become dead numb, not to feel empathy.
Yeah.
Not to feel empathy. And this is how the joke goes, that in our movement, and I hope it's not like that, it's just a joke. In our movement, you first become a pure devotee, then you become a human being.
Oh no.
I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true.
I want to be a human first.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Well, thank you so much, ADVAITA Acharya Prabhu. It's been so wonderful, such a bit. See, I have realized that Krishna and his name, I wouldn't say I've realized, that is a lie, but I'm experiencing that Krishna is truly not different from his name and all his attributes, because I've seen so many times we have a speaker, and the speaker may say, oh, in fact, I have another engagement, just a few minutes, so I will not speak past this time. And it turns out that the person speaks for more than he or she anticipated to stay, because Krishna is so sweet. Once you touch it, it's very difficult to let go of it. So, say we've been here for how many hours? 2 hours. Unbelievable. 2 hours, 15 minutes. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think we're going to call it a day. And sorry, Shri ADVAITA Acharya Prabhu, if you have any concluding remarks to make, please, you may do so.
Yes.
Before we close.
Yes. I miss you all. I love you, and I'm proud of you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, we're going to humbly, I believe some of you may still have some questions, but we pleaded with you, we're going to call it a day. So therefore, we're requesting all of you to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker. Well, even before we do that, I wanted to let you know that our revered brother, God brother, who spoke Now, His Grace Advaita Acharya Prabhu is an initiating guru. So if you are not initiated, you hear, you're listening, and you decide to take guruship, then take a guru, take a guru. He is an initiating guru. So that is just for your information. So we encourage devotees to unmute yourselves and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamant with express appreciation. Jai Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Rama Rama Hare
Vancha
Hare.
Kalpa
Nubhyascha
Tarunyacha
Kripa
Kripa
Sindhu Bhavacha. Patitanam
Sindhu
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to His Grace Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Nagoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Ki
jai.
Jai. Hare
She,
Krishna.
she, she, she.
Radhe.
Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ah. Oh, Salika. I didn't realize. Salika, you are the host.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
You didn't tell us that it's a mirage and you make us to commit offenses. The speaker, you didn't tell us it's a mirage.
Oh,
Mirage. So you make me to
well,
commit offense.
no, I don't see. I don't think he takes whatever happened here today as an offense.
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram.